Puerto Rico has been one of the most successful countries in every World Baseball Classic since its introduction in 2006. They have made it out of pool play in each tournament, including back-to-back second-place finishes in both 2013 and 2017. On my 1998 Team USA roster video, you guys left a ton of requests for a 1998 Puerto Rico roster video, so here it is. I know it took a while and the WBC is kind of old news now, so leave a comment below if you still want more of these types of videos in the future. I have a lot of plans for more content coming this summer, so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Alright, getting on with the video. For Puerto Rico, compared to the USA video, a lot of the choices are more obvious, so instead of going through every option at each position, I'll just be listing off my choices and only go in depth at positions where there was more competition. Constructing this roster is actually much easier than most because in 1995, following the 1994 labor stoppage, a dream team of Puerto Rican MLB stars played together in the Caribbean Series. Naturally, there would have been a lot of crossover if there had been a World Baseball Classic 3 years later in '98. Same rules will apply for my last roster construction, meaning 30 total players with 16 position players and 14 pitchers. I will once again be considering player stats and reputation entering the 1998 season. Without any further ado, let's get into it. The island of Puerto Rico has been a hotbed for Major League catchers dating back to the 1960s. However, when talking about catchers in the 90s, one Puerto Rican-born player stands out. Ivan "Pudge" Rodriguez would have been without a doubt the starting catcher for Team Puerto Rico in 1998. Entering '98, Pudge had been an All-Star in all 6 of his full seasons at the MLB level and was the 2-time reigning American League Gold Glove and Silver Slugger Award winner for the Texas Rangers. Rodriguez posted a slash line of .313, .360, and .484 with an OPS of .844 in 1997, which was good for a .114 OPS+. The future Hall of Famer would go on to be the starting catcher for Puerto Rico in both 2006 and 2009 and was named to the All-Tournament team in '09. There is no doubt in my mind that Pudge would have been the starter for Puerto Rico in '98. The 2 backup catching spots is probably the most hotly contested position on this roster. Candidates for the spots are Sandy Alomar Jr., Jorge Posada, Javi Lopez, and Benito Santiago. Alomar entered 1998 as a 5-time All-Star, including each of the last 2 seasons. He had a terrific season in 1997 in which he posted a 900 OPS along with a .324 batting average, 21 home runs, and 83 RBIs. He was also coming off an incredible performance in the World Series where he went 11 for 30 with 2 homers and 10 RBIs. Jorge Posada still had not taken over the catching position completely in New York, as the future 5-time All-Star only played 60 games in 1997. Posada still managed a .101 OPS+ in his platoon role and certainly would have gotten a look as a young backup option on this squad. Javi Lopez was certainly a more established option at this point in his career. Lopez had made the first of an eventual 3 All-Star appearances in 1997 and posted an .895 OPS with a .293 batting average and 23 homers for the Braves. The other notable option would have been Benito Santiago, who after making 4 All-Star appearances and accumulating 3 Gold Gloves and 3 Silver Sluggers from 1987 to 1992, had fallen off into more of a platoon role with the Blue Jays due to injuries. Unfortunately, Santiago was also involved in a car accident in January of 1998 that caused him to miss the majority of the '98 season, so it is all but certain that Santiago would have not been capable of playing in March of that year. All things considered, I ultimately decided to include Alomar and Lopez as the backup catchers. With both coming off All-Star seasons in 1997, the decision ended up being easier than you would expect considering the name recognition of each player. Moving to first base, this position is relatively uncontested. Carlos Delgado was coming off his first of an eventual 10 consecutive 30-plus homer seasons. Delgado posted an OPS plus of .127 and had a WRC plus of .122. He was also part of that 1995 Caribbean Series Dream Team roster. He was also the only Puerto Rican-born first baseman that was a consistent starter in 1997, so his selection seems obvious. Second base is also a fairly clear choice. Roberto Alomar was in the middle of a stretch of 12 consecutive All-Star seasons entering 1998. The switch-hitting second baseman posted an .890 OPS in 112 games for the Orioles in '97. He popped 14 homers while playing an elite defensive second base. Only Team USA's Craig Biggio could give Alomar an argument for the best second baseman in baseball during this time period. Alomar was also one of the MLB stars to play with Puerto Rico in 1995. Sliding over to third base gets a little more complicated. 0 Puerto Rican-born players played over 50 games at third base in 1997 and posted over a 100 OPS+. So I've decided to slide Carlos Baerga over from second base. Baerga played 199 career games at third base, and we see infielders change positions every WBC. He actually did this for the 1995 Caribbean Series team as well, so I don't see this being a problem whatsoever. Baerga had fallen off slightly from his days in Cleveland, which saw him make 3 All-Star games, but he was still a very solid player for the Mets. Baerga hit .281 with 9 home runs and 52 RBIs in 1997. I think he would still have been an excellent option at the hot corner for this squad. Jose Valentine is my choice for shortstop to round out this infield. Valentine put up a very solid 1997 season for the Brewers, in which he slashed .253, .310, and .407, and nearly put up a 2020 season with 17 homers and 19 stolen bases. As for backup infielders, I believe Joey Cora definitely would have had a spot on the roster. Cora had the best season of his career in 1997, hitting .300 with an .800 OPS, 11 long balls, and 40 doubles. This gave Cora his lone All-Star appearance. There's definitely an argument he could have started at either third base or shortstop, but he hadn't started at shortstop in MLB since 1992 and hadn't started at third since 1993, so I just put him on the bench. I could definitely see an argument for starting him, and I'm sure he would have gotten spot starts, but for the purpose of this video, he's on the bench. Jose Hernandez is another infielder I feel confidently putting on the roster. Hernandez had a strong season as a utility infielder with the Cubs in 1997, posted a 107 OPS plus while playing all 4 infield positions and some outfield. For the final infield bench spot, I chose ESPN's very own Eduardo Perez. Perez put up a career-high 16 homers in 1997, and I definitely think he would have made the team. In the outfield, I will start with the easy positions first. Juan Gonzalez is without a doubt the starting right fielder. Juan Gun won the AL MVP in 1996 and would go on to do it again in 98. His 1997 season wasn't too shabby either, posting a 924 OPS with 42 homers and 131 RBIs. He would have been the main power source in the Puerto Rican lineup, and he is also one of the returning players from 95. Sliding over to center field is another 1995 Caribbean Series alum, Bernie Williams. Bernie is probably the most underappreciated player from the late 90s Yankees championship dynasty, and a 98 WBC would have been smack in the middle of that era. Bernie hit .328 with 21 homers and 100 RBIs in 97 and would go on to win the batting title in 98 along with his second World Series ring. Bernie would eventually get his chance to represent Puerto Rico in the WBC in 2006, and he took full advantage, clubbing 2 homers. Left field is where there's some room for debate. Jose Cruz Jr., Ruben Sierra, and Carlos Beltran all have a case. Cruz had an incredible rookie season in 1997, posting an .814 OPS along with 26 homers, despite getting traded from Seattle to Toronto mid-season. Ruben Sierra was an established all-star level power threat, but was injured for the majority of 97 and 98, and his production fell off when he was on the field. He wouldn't regain his offensive prowess until 2001. However, Sierra had been on the 95 Dream Team, and if he was healthy enough, I do believe he would have been on the team. Lastly, Carlos Beltran was a highly touted 21-year-old prospect in the Kansas City Royals system entering 1998. Obviously, we know he turned out pretty well, but I do believe he would have gotten a look on this roster despite not having played a game in MLB. I chose to start Cruz and use Sierra and Beltran off the bench, but I could definitely hear an argument for starting any one of them. As for the designated hitter spot, this is a no-doubter. Edgar Martinez literally has the DH award named after him. Edgar Martinez was absolutely raking at this point in his career. He was an all-star each of the previous 3 seasons prior to 1998. He hit .330 with 28 homers, 108 RBIs in 97, and posted a 1.009 OPS. There's really no doubt this Hall of Famer would have fit very nicely in the middle of this loaded lineup. I definitely think this lineup could hold its own with the absolutely loaded Team USA lineup I constructed in a previous video. However, it's definitely the pitching side where Team Puerto Rico would have failed to keep pace with the US. The starting rotation I came up with reads as follows. Jaime Navarro of the Chicago White Sox. He posted a 5.79 ERA in 33 starts. Navarro threw 209.2 innings, but clearly was not missing enough bats as he led the AL in hits allowed. Navarro, however, did put up some solid seasons earlier in his career in Milwaukee, including a 17-win campaign in 1992. Jose Rosado was coming off an all-star campaign in 1997 in Kansas City, in which he went 9-12 with a 4.69 ERA in 203.1 innings. Omar Olivares was a solid starter and was coming off a season in which he went 6-10 with a 4.97 ERA with both Detroit and Seattle. Ricky Bones had been an all-star in 1994, but had since bounced back and forth from the bullpen. But I believe he would have gotten a starting opportunity for this squad. And for the final starter, I went with Javier Vazquez, who had not yet made his MLB debut, but would in 1998 with the Expos and entered the season as the number 83 ranked prospect in baseball. Vazquez would go on to represent Puerto Rico in the 2006 WBC. The bullpen is anchored by 2-time All-Star closer Roberto Hernandez, who recorded 31 saves in 1997 and pitched to a 2.45 ERA with the White Sox and Giants. However, the rest of the pen is made up mainly of the remaining Puerto Rican-born pitchers in MLB at the time. The pen I selected reads as follows. Bobby Munoz, Jose Albero, Roberto Rivera, Rafael Carmona, Jose Santiago, J.C. Romero, Javier Martinez, and Mike Perez. Obviously, this staff is not nearly as impressive as Team USA, but still has a lot of quality MLB talent to fill out the roster. So that is my full Puerto Rican roster for a potential 1998 WBC. How did I do? How do you think this team would have fared? If you haven't seen my original Team USA video, please go check it out. The link will be in the description. I also post graphic design content on my Instagram, M6Cole Designs, so check that out if you're interested. Please leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.